Hi, my name is Gabby Cantorna from the Exeter Chiefs, and you're watching the Women's Rugby Show.
Hello and welcome back to the Women's Rugby Show. I'm Sam Byther and today I'm here with episode 6 of our season review series, and today's turn of Gloucester-Hartpury winger Ellie Underwood. If you haven't seen the other videos in this series, click here to see the rest of our chats with everyone else we've spoken to so far. And before we get into this video, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the Women's Rugby Show on YouTube, and also check us out across all social medias. Have you done all that? Well, let's see what Ellie has to say about Gloucester-Hartpury's season in the Premier 15s. First of all, Ellie, thanks a lot for joining us. First, how are you? How have you been since the season finished?
Yeah, all right. I picked up a little bit of a sort of ongoing injury at the end of the season, so I've just sort of got back running and stuff myself. Yeah, good. Nice to have a bit of a break, but equally gutted to not be carrying on and heading for the semis and stuff like that.
How do you feel the season kind of went, from first of all from a team point of view and also from a personal point of view for yourself?
Yeah, I think it's been up and down for us. Obviously, COVID has been difficult for everyone. We've had obviously a change in coach, which we had the end of last season. That was nice, but obviously it's just different. It's just very, very different. And I've really enjoyed learning new things through Linny. I think the season's been really, really up and down. But I also think we've come away from it thinking what a great team to be part of and how amazing is it to be able to build on what we've got already, and I'm so excited to see what can come of that.
How tough do you
personally
go on? Sorry, I've completely forgot.
Personally, yeah, I think I've definitely missed the rules. That obviously the rule change has been huge for everyone, and I've really missed that because it means that the backs don't get the ball like they do when we have scrums and stuff like that. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed just being able to play, which I think is amazing for us. Because a lot of people weren't able to, so that was a huge opportunity to be able to do that.
Yeah, you mentioned Sean. How much of an influence has he kind of had on your side style of play and the girl style of play this season?
Yeah, huge. He's so good. He's brought in so many new things, and I think every week he brings in something new, and we're sort of baffled. We've got so much. I know personally, so many things in my head, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to forget everything. But he's brought in so many new things, and actually our kicking game as well has hugely developed. And I think tens and fullbacks are encouraged to kick a lot at the right times as well. And I think your kick's only as good as your chase. So I think as a winger, that's been like for me, I've learned that as a new way to play.
Moving on to kind of some individual bits from the season, what would have been, say, your game this season, your most enjoyable game this season?
My most enjoyable game, I think, would actually be our last game, which is Exeter away, although the weather was disgusting. Just for us as a team, I just feel like we gelled. Obviously, we were the only team to beat Exeter twice this season. And I think we had that bit of pressure on us going into the game because we knew, obviously, Susie used to coach us. So that was a bit of a drive for us to want to play really well. And also for us, we wanted to get that result and be that only team that's beaten them, So I think for me, that was probably my most enjoyable game, having come away with the win at the end of that one.
And obviously, it's kind of linked, but what would be kind of your moment of the season? Would it be a try or maybe a tackle? What would that be for you?
I don't think it would be me specifically. I think as a team, we play Worcester at home, which obviously is always just a massive local derby for us. And we scored in the last, I think actually time was up and we scored and won the game. And that for me was the best feeling because as a team, we accomplished what we went to go and do. And obviously as a team and the coaches were so pleased because actually our effort in that game meant that we came away with a result and we ground it out to the end. And that was just the best feeling. Well, better than a try.
Who would be your kind of player of the season from a Gloucester-Hartpury point of view?
I mean, Zoe's obviously a massive part of our team. She's just outstanding every time she goes onto the pitch. She leads from the front. I know the forwards always say if Zoe's in the pack, she controls everything, and everyone feels like they can do stuff that they haven't been able to do before because they just feel like she's such a good leader in there. So I think Zoe obviously is huge. Obviously, she's been massive as well in playing for England. I've also really enjoyed playing with Daisy at 10. She's been really, for me, I've just feel like, I don't know, she just gels us together. I think there's a lot of people across the board that you could say, but obviously Zoe's a massive standout, and for me, Daisy.
How tough was it missing Zoe for quite a long part of the season early on after she picked up that injury away at Loughborough?
Yeah, hugely tough. Obviously in the warm-up as well, and we do a bit of a separate warm-up, and obviously COVID has been meant we have to do a bit of an individual warm-up, and I know she got injured in a line-out, and we didn't really know much about it, and then all of a sudden it's like, right, Zoe's not playing, and we're sort of, oh my god, just before you're about to start a game. So she'd come down with us and warmed up but never got on, and that's like quite hard to pick yourself up just before a game. But I also think that people have stepped her and improved massively, in Zoe's absence. But yeah, obviously we hugely missed her because she's a massive part of our team.
You mentioned obviously Zoe and Daisy, some of your players of the season. Who would be one that you'd want women's rugby fans to look out for next season as kind of a shining light potentially for next year?
Who would I say? I think Emma Singh's been playing really well at fullback. She's kicked really well. She's also been attacking the line, giving us opportunities on the wing. And she's really young. I think she's 18. And she's been doing really well. So I think she'd be one to look out for. Also, Georgia Brock. She plays on the back row, and I think she's an incredible player, and she's underrated. Just in regards to the Premiership, I just think she's a player that you don't maybe always talk about, but I think she just does so much in a game that is just missed, and I think she's a brilliant player.
Obviously, you had Zoe away with the Red Roses during the Six Nations, a fair few of the Welsh girls away as well. How nice was that to see so many players getting recognition on an international stage?
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? I mean, I love being able to watch the TV and watch them play. Obviously, this year, I think they've got more, been on TV a lot more than they have been, more recognition. I think it's lovely to see people people you play with. It makes you feel so proud to be able to play with them. Yeah, and I love being able to watch them. It's been brilliant, really good.
You just touched on the increased coverage. How important do you think the RFU in England Rugby putting on more of live streams, lots of more live stream games this season, has been for the growth of the game?
Yeah, huge, definitely, because I know obviously people haven't been able to watch us either, meaning that like all my parents like to be able to watch us, and they're gutted if there was a couple of games that they weren't able to put on, just because they like to feel involved. And I know being able to put it on social media that you're playing, I think a lot more people that aren't interested in rugby will watch rugby just because they know you. And then I've enjoyed it, and a lot of people have come back to me and said, oh, I loved watching you play, we're going to watch you all the time. And I just think that's huge, and the RFU, England Rugby, have done massive amounts for that, and I think it can only get better, and I'd like to see that they carry on the live streams, even when fans are allowed back. Obviously we don't get huge crowds, but I think a lot of people still aren't able to watch, and would love to watch it on the stream. I hope they can carry some of the games on doing that a bit more.
It seems like the league's become a lot more competitive this season as well. It seems like anybody can beat anyone on a given day. How important do you think that's been as well?
Yeah, I think it's hugely more competitive, isn't it? And I think the changing in rules has changed that as well, because you are getting more free play in rugby. And I think that's been great. And I think it's great to be able to go to every team and be able to have a proper game. And you've also seen teams that haven't won much this season beating teams. It's so good. I think it's just hugely good for the growth of rugby, and also encourage more people to go training and turn up and actually think that actually you can do it and you can play. And I think it's brilliant.
who would have been kind of your toughest game this season? Obviously, there are the likes of Saracens and Quins, but people like Worcester, Exeter have been putting on shows, strong performances, Sale as well, pretty much week in, week out.
Yeah, I think Worcester was really tough for us at home because they came. I just think it changes you so much when you know it's a local derby, because you desperately want to beat those teams. So I think Worcester was a really tough game for us at home. Wasps was really annoying for us because I think that was in the middle of the Six Nations, and they had quite a lot of players out, obviously because they were at camp and stuff like that. It was just really annoying for us that we let that one slip in the end. That was a really tough game, and it was actually really hot as well, which always makes things a lot harder. So I think, yeah, probably Wasps or Worcester, I would say.
Yeah, and on an individual perspective from an opposition, who's kind of been someone who's impressed you from an opposition team this season, or a couple of people who've impressed you?
Who's impressed me? Obviously Jess Breach has been really good. She's always outstanding, finisher. Who else? Laggie's played really well for Harlequins. I think she's been a really big part of their team. And who else would I say? Poppy Cleal, obviously a huge part for Saracens. Yeah, I think there's loads of players. All teams have. I think players have all stood out. On their day. But yeah, that would probably be my main ones.
And looking ahead to next season, what are kind of your aspirations, just from a personal perspective and also from a Gloucester-Hartpury perspective as well?
Yeah, for me, I feel like obviously I want to be able to score tries to help the team, so that is always my main role. I want to improve some things personally in my game that I think we can work on over the summer. And I can't wait to be able to get back out there, play back in the normal rules, which I don't keep going on about, and just give us chance to build as a team. I think we've left a lot of performances out there that I think we've got it in the tank. We're able to do it. We need to believe in ourselves. We need to be more clinical in our 22. And I think Linny always says to us that the backs are the energizers, and yeah, I think we need to offer that more in the games. And I think what we're building as a team at Hartpury is really, really special, and I hope that we can prove that next season, and actually finish where I think we deserve to finish, or where we feel we deserve to finish, and hopefully we can be where we've been the last few seasons, and hopefully push up there in the top 4.
And finally, what would be your 3-word season review for this season?
So do you want 3 words for like 3 separate words? I was thinking about this.
You can pick either. You can go for it all links or 3 separate words, or you can do both if you'd like.
Does the count?
Potentially.
No. Okay, so I went for best in the West, but I know that's 4. Because I love that one, because we won all of our West Country derbies, so I love that one.
I suppose you can count it. You can say best in West instead of getting rid of
best in West.
Yeah, brilliant. You can have that as a 3-word. Ellie, thanks a lot for joining us. Congratulations on a successful season, and also good luck for next season, and enjoy the rest of the summer as well before pre-season starts.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name's Emma Hardy from Loughborough Lightning, and you've been watching Women's Rugby Show.